Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai, Mahayogi Swami Radhikananda Saraswati ki jai. I humbly seek the blessings of Bhagwan Nityananda, Muktanand Baba, my revered Gurudev Mahayogi Swami Radhikananda Saraswati, and the blessings of Vedas. Before I go for the session, I'd like to thank you. It was a divine experience. Thank you so much. And you've just introduced my text so beautifully. Consider Shiva as consciousness and Vasudeva Krishna as love. If we can just relate these terms with whatever expression we call God, I think that is what we all need to understand. So I'm going to talk about Veda today, applied Veda. I don't mind having some little table. Is there a table here somewhere? No, doesn't matter if it is not there. Okay. Am I looking decent enough? Is that okay with me? Yeah. Yeah, just and those books near in case. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I'm just going to show you the books that's done. So that's why I needed some table. So I'm going to hold it like this. The idea is not to show that I have done something so big, but the idea is they are so prestigious that I wanted to display them in a grand style. That was the idea behind it. So what is actually Veda? So for all those, some terms may be new, but trust me, Veda is derived from the word vid. Vid means knowledge. So it's nothing but a complete content of some knowledge which is probably even used today. It is not ancient at all. It is used today. Now this knowledge is like what we call it as tacit knowledge. Now what is tacit knowledge? Knowledge which is revealed to you either through intuition or you understand through experience. It is not a documented information given to you in your hand. It is something that you come to understand. For example, you're running on the streets and you realize that it may be slippery, so your mind tells you, go slow. So it is something so close to your heart that it is going to tell you how to live every moment. That is tacit knowledge. It is knowledge, it is not information. Nobody needs to tell you that, okay, you go slow, otherwise you're going to fall. So we know it. That is tacit knowledge. And it is these Vedas, they are 4 in number. They were in absurd umpteen size, very well classified by one of the masters called Vyas. He has classified them into 4. Otherwise, it would have been a knowledge at random. For a common man to understand, we need everything to be classified. So it becomes easier for us to understand. Otherwise, it doesn't reach us. So we need to classify everything in small bits. Like we have direction, it's huge. So man says north, south, east, west. Then he says day, whole day is huge. So 12 noon, morning 8, whatever. So we are all used to the concept of classifying things so that we understand the whole term better. Now when we do that, we realize that knowledge also this particular type of knowledge was needed to be classified. This is supposed to be almost 1500 BC, that's before Christ, 1500 BC. If you add that to 2022, it can be about 3700 years back then. This knowledge, that people want to know who has written it. Actually, it is a contribution of 390 seers, visionaries, sages, saints. They have contributed to it by their understanding and their expressions. They were in awe of everything that was around them. Even when I came here first to USA, I was in awe of the grandeur, the space, the sky. The other day at Arizona, The sky, my God, I couldn't imagine such a stretch of sky, because we hardly see the sky in India, Pune, especially my place. And here there was for miles as if it was like ocean, inverted ocean. And I was like looking at the sky, it's far and far and far further away. So there is something known as, you feel, it's awesome. So some expressions of these experienced by the intelligence, which were very noble by birth. Why do I say noble by birth? Because the language which came out of that turned out to be something very dignified. Even if you express your joy, what expression are you using? Even if you express your anger, what are you saying? Does that go with the class you are? Does that go with the standard of your thinking? Does it go with the nobility of the society? Does it go with the culture of the society? Similarly, there was something which was for the sages probably then, it was an experience. I'll give you a small experience of that incident. I mean, if there are roaring of the clouds or the rains battering, or you hear the earthquake moving, or the trees, moving, and the winds roaring, or whatever. Now, for a layman to begin with, when he sees all this, if you have read about Helen Keller, she was a blind lady, and when she heard, the first time she felt the rains on her, she didn't know how to react because she didn't know what it was. So she was very scared, and she was trying to hide herself under a tree, when a very kind gentleman or a lady came forth and she said, "Don't worry, this is nothing, feel it, just feel it, just feel it." And slowly Helen Keller came out of that fear. So this is how, when probably the earth must have expressed itself in completeness, a man initially must have got scared of all these various sounds, and gradually some intelligent minds must have stabilized and said, "All right, this is nothing, let's look into it, let's look into it." And gradually they went into appreciating something which was, for example, light. There's no light, otherwise when it gets dark and then suddenly there is a sunrise. And then there is light all around. And obviously, won't you say, "My God, isn't that beautiful? I can see it. I can now see, look around." Or if there is water and you're feeling hot and suddenly there's a shower of rains on you, you say, "My God, what a pleasant feeling this is." So these were the expressions of people, very intellectual people, very wisely chosen words, and probably emerged as something known as Vedas. It was just nothing noting down of knowledge of the universe. So when you note that down, they were in 4 forms. The first form was Rigved, which I have translated now. The second is Yajurved, third is Samaved, and fourth is Atharvaved. They have their objectives. Before that, how did they come to understand this? So they were considered to be revelations of some godly supreme truth. You call it consciousness, as he had said, or you call it a result of love. Somebody is saying, "Don't get scared. It's just water. Don't get scared. It's just beautiful light." So probably something like that must have emerged, and the sages who understood it documented it in 4 texts. The first text, Rigveda, is supposed to help you now. Now it is in the form of explicit form. It's no more tacit. It is there in the documented form. It is given to all of us. We can have them in the hands. We can read the mantras. So that is now explicit form. We have them with us. Now when you look at it, what is the purpose of this objective? Every text must have some objective. It cannot just be written for no reason or rhyme. So the objective, what was the objective of Rigveda? Was to purify your speech. The first, the Sukta, we call it Richa, the first Richa was on Agni, and it is like Agnim ile purohitam yajnasya deva ritvijam hotaram ratnadhatamam agni devam namo nama. Now of course this is I myself don't know Sanskrit, so I'm not going to say more than one line. That's enough, that's all I know. But what I'm trying to tell you is, it was supposed to give me a purified voice, a speech. Or you can say it was the expression of a purified speech. Somebody very wise, somebody very thoughtful, somebody very noble with language must have come out and said, "Oh Agni, you are the very first friend who has come to help us in the mortal journey. So we look upon you as the leader, the priest, whatever." So the expression was that of appreciation, and the language used was beautiful. It was in the form of, when we want to speak, we use many words. There are smarter people who use short words. There are people who are more powerful, are poets. They will use poetry. And there are priests who turn out with mantras. So mantras are the finer state of expression. So that is how these texts were created. Then second one was Yajurveda. That is supposed to help you to purify your mind. We have very little idea of the universe, and we have very little idea of the manifested world. Forget about the unmanifested. It's not possible for us to understand. So without knowing completely, we are judging on small little things. We say, my God, it's too hot, it's sulky, it's this, it's that. And we have our cribbing going on. So he says, clear your mind. So Yajurveda is going to tell us a lot about small things I'm going to tell you, but you are going to love what is given to you all and me through this supreme power, whoever. And that is the best combination. Love and consciousness. That was the best combination we heard today. That has brought the blessings to today's session, that is for sure. These two words are very important. Yes, what is it you want? That is out of consciousness, a love for the mortal mankind. And that is given to you. So the second is going to help you to purify. Yajurveda is going to help you to purify your mind. Now Samaveda, third Veda, it's musical. But then what is it going to do? They said it's going to help you to purify your breath. Now we feel, my God, purifying breath. Of course, now all of you are yoga practitioners. You know what purifying of breath means. You practice Kumbhak 5 times to 6 times. That is, inhale and maintain that breath. Don't give it up immediately. And then exhale. And after 5 to 10 times, you will know what is pure breath. So purifying of breath is something that we can experience it any time now. All of us can do that. And the last Atharva Veda, Tharva means gati, speed, mobility. And Atharva means stability. So these 4 volumes are here to give us a pure speech, a good heart, a good thought, and a good breath. Now, why do we need it at all? Why have anything to be so pure? Why we don't need to have anything pure? We are okay as we are. All right, then just find out whether whatever you say is going to make a difference to your children, to your husband, to your friends, to your teachers, to the local people, to the polling people. Whatever are you going to say, is it going to influence them, affect them? If not, something needs to be changed in you. If you're going to tell your son or your friend, don't do this, he says, shut up. If he says shut up, it means your Vani, your speech does not have sufficient strength, power to influence. So what could be lacking? Maybe one of these 4. Either your speech is weak, or your heart is not correct, your motive may not be correct, your understanding or expression may not be correct. We have these 3 lords we worship. We say Sri Ganesha and Maha. He's supposed to be knower of the content you have. Saraswati Namaha, how to deliver. And Gurubhyo Namaha, when to deliver. You should know these 3 things. They go simultaneously with us. If you know what to say, yes. How to say, yes. And when to say. All 3 need to come together. That is exactly some sort of a training we can get. You will say, can the other scriptures not give? Of course they can give. You go to any scripture, they are going to give you, wherever there is these two beautiful birds are there, it's going to give you everything what you need. But right now, since we have studied these and I'm working on these, I'm going to talk about this. So this is the applied application of Veda. These are the 4 Vedas. They are ancient. Are they so ancient that we don't need them now? Not really. As a matter of fact, we are using it right now. All of us, the entire humanity, the entire world, because there is no God element concept here. There are various attributes which mankind needs to live happily in the world. We need light. Don't we need light? Yes. Do I need light and somebody else doesn't need light? Oh, of course not. We all need light. Do you get scared when it gets dark? Yes, I get scared when it's dark. Do you need water? Yes, I need water. Do you need the moon? Yes, I need the moon. Is there anything which is there in the nature which you and me don't need it? We all need it. And Vedas is just a list of those things. Now, there is an expression given to them. Each thing is given a godly status. So they say Sun, Surya, Dev. We call them gods. Of course, there are 33 gods Rig Veda has given. Not only the non-Indians, but the Indians also ask me, so why do you need 33 gods? So I said, when you have a bigger canvas, and you look at any map on your Google and all, and you look at Arizona, since I know a little bit of it. So you look at that, Arizona looks small. Now the moment you go and approach closer and closer with your finger, it starts growing, and then you will see Phoenix there, and this there, and that there. Similarly, when there is a larger canvas, one word is enough. God is just one word. But when it comes to a manifested world, we are going closer now, closer and closer. So all his attributes are going to emerge. So what are these various attributes? There is light, there is wisdom. Is there anybody who says, no, I don't need wisdom now? You see, it's okay, because he was called then Brahmanspati in Rig Veda. He was first called Brahmanspati. It's a difficult word. Then it was changed to Brahaspati. It got difficult still. Then it went to Ganapati. Then it came to Guru. Then it came to Master. Then it came to teachers. But what is happening? We are only changing the terms. But the original essence of wisdom is not changed. Today it is Department of Philosophy in university. If you have to study philosophy of university, somewhere you are going to come to Veda. So trace back to your original spot. If you are going to study solar system, you are going to slowly come to the sun. If you are going to study that paleontology or something, I don't know, you will be brought to the moon, study of the moon's surface. So we have not left this. They are with us right up till here. We have just changed names. We have changed the attribute, the attitude towards it. We don't want to call it God anymore. Fair enough, doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to him. Whoever the creator is, it doesn't make difference to that creator. You can call him God. How many of us thank God? We don't. Lucy, very sweetly, every day the food is served, the first thing she does is thanks. And then I look at her and I remember and I say also thanks. So something, very few of us, we don't thank breath, without which we cannot live. We don't thank water, which we cannot live without. Light, we don't thank. Leave aside paying. Can you imagine paying for every breath? Just 1 little cent for 1 breath. We'll stop breathing. We'll say, why? No, it's already $10. Can we do that? We can't. Is he asking for it? He's not. Does he need to rectify it, change it? 1,000 years are over, now the sun is dull, so I'm going to give you another sun. No, he hasn't given us another sun. He doesn't need to give one. It has not got exhausted. Hundreds and thousands and millions of people are using sunlight. It is not getting over. Sunlight is not over, air is not over, water is not over. Now, if you call that something magnanimous and grand, that word grand can be replaced by God. If you want, if you don't want, forget about it. But at least know the divinity in it. It's an eternal treasure which is given to you. And it is given to everyone. Neither tiger is not told, you are not going to drink water because you are evil. No. It goes, finds its way to the spring or the little lake or stream, and then you see the tiger come say, let's picture him, he comes there to drink water. I'm telling you, this generosity has crossed human, even mental imagination. It is so massive. And it is not given to one part of the world and not to the other one, third one. No, very beautifully distributed. One world may have something rich here, something rich here, something rich here, something rich here, because he wants a proper interdependency. I work for MIT, which is World Peace Center in Pune. All of them come. I said, don't worry about dependency, use the word interdependency. It will make things easier for all of us. And you see, all the subjects, 33 gods you take, not one extra subject has been introduced. All those which are there in the form of university subjects are equivalent to this number. The architecture, yes, there was an architect here also. There was a chariot maker, carpenter, there was a carpenter here. There is a physician here, there is a physician here. All those 33 gods, Ashwini Kumars are physicians, Twashtas, architect, creator. All those gods are there, those subjects were there. Now when it is unmanifested world, it is in the abstract form, abstract noun. For example, we will take the word like valor, or the courage or valor. Now in an abstract world, unmanifested world, that word can be understood by the intellect. We don't need to see that. You can understand the word, knowledge. You don't have to see it with the eyes. That is in an unseen world. We call it Brahma, the unmanifested world. You can understand that. To my intelligence, that word is familiar, knowledge. But can I see it? No. How do I interact with it? It manifests in the manifested world in a dual form. Here it was single abstract noun. Here it comes as a noun pronoun. The knower and his teachings. That's the law. That's the law. Anything which is in the universe, the unexpressed universe, it can be in a single form and which is accepted by our intelligence. But the moment I want to interact with it on a physical level, it has to take a dual form. So if you say God, he is a human form, it is the law of manifested world. He has to take a mortal form, and his teachings is going to reflect how wise he is. His courage is going to reflect how good he is. His caring for the world will reflect how good they are. You have Mother Teresa. Her caring made us realize how good she is. So it is, you cannot say love. Now I cannot see love. Can I see love? No. In an unexpressed world, I cannot see it. But when it comes to the expressed world, manifested world, I need something which will be entertained by my sense organs. My ears, my nose, my whatever, my hands, everything. So that is the law, and that's why all these 33 gods which are mentioned in Rig Veda, they are actually nothing but attributes like valor, the light, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4. The peace, the purity. But when it needs to come to the manifested world, it has to have something else for me to relate myself with. Medicine is a very good thing. Just the word medicine is not going to cure me. The medicine has to manifest in front of me as a herb, or as a processing which is done, and it is turned into some medicinal which is going to be used by me. Or just the word medicine is not going to be of any use to me. It has to manifest. Now this is manifested world. Similarly, mortal in an unmanifested world is life. It is just plain life. Can I see it? No. I can just understand what is life. Yes. And then if I have to see, what does it have to do? It has to manifest in two forms. That is I and Radhika. Where's the life? In Radhika. Who's noticing it? I'm noticing it. Who's voicing for it? I'm voicing it. Radhika is alive. We have to sign every November that we are alive for the pension. So we have to go and show them that, yes, I am alive. We have to show our faces, sign, and then say, yes, we are alive, we can continue to draw the pension. So who's going to see it? I'm going to say, I am alive, I am alive, I am Radhika. All of us are sharing that word I. I'm going to tell you now where the godly element is in y'all. Each one of us has got that. Because as I said, in non-existing world, in non-manifested world, we were just life. But now we had to take a dual form. The dual form is made of spirit, that is knowledge, and matter. So that I, which you, all of us are sharing, which is so close to you, without which you cannot identify your frame. For example, I'll say, who's Radhika here? Somebody has to point it out to me, whether I'm here in form and all. They say, she is Radhika, or I have to say, I'm Radhika. Unless I don't display that, nobody will know who Radhika is. So this pronoun element that we all share is the godly element in all of you. That is the spirit, the light. God says, I have given you such a light in which no darkness will come near your physique, the body, the matter. How does that do? Well, somebody doesn't need to tell me you're thirsty. I know it. If I'm in dark also, nobody needs to know. Do you know where you are? I'll say, of course I know, I'm here, I'm right here. Recently in Florida, I was with my nephew and his grandson. She used to make me ask him, where are you? So he said, I'm right here. I used to say, yes, see, you're right here. You know when you are hungry, you know when you are thirsty. Why? Because that I, the spirit, the light is in you. So what has he given? He's given us 33 gods? No, not really. He's given us 33 attributes which are needed by mankind to live a normal mortal life. He's given you land, he's given you earth. We call them Panch Mahabhut, there's 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, space, light, moonlight, sunlight, their radiations, their radiances, their effect on the plants, the cow, the grazing for the cow, what all is given. And have we changed? 2,000, 3,000 years ago, we were asked to take milk from the cow. You know who discovered it? A dog realized it, called Sharman in Rigveda, that milk is suitable for mankind. And after 3,000 and 3,500 years, we still drink milk from cows and buffaloes, whatever. There are many animals on the streets. We don't choose them. We didn't think the need of it. Nobody was either modern enough or not modern enough, but to discard that, they continue doing it. Now we had some pictures, very artistic pictures. Lord Ganesha, he didn't come in Rigveda time, he came in Yajurveda time, the name. The wisdom was there right from Brahmanspati. And then somehow it turned up. Can you imagine if I tell you to draw a picture of God? How many of us will think of drawing an elephant's face? I mean, I don't think we will. None of us will. So there must have been some incident which must have forced one of these sages or saints or saintly mind or intellect to succumb to that. But the best part of it is, in next 3,000 years there are hundreds of artists, none of them changed it. You could have had your freedom. Anyone would have come, Hussein would have come and said, I'm going to draw him in a different way. Instead of giving an elephant's trunk, I'm going to give him lion's face. He didn't do it. Either he didn't have the courage, or he didn't see the need of it, or maybe the same intellect is pursuing everywhere. It is the same intellect which is occupying all our brains. Otherwise it would have changed. If my intellect and your intellect was supposed to differ, maybe, I don't know, I'm just speaking my mind loud. It's loud thinking. You call it loud thinking. But has somebody changed? No. Nobody has changed that. Forget about that. Samved, the 7 notes were given. You call it, what was that? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. We call it sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. They were 7,000 years, 3,000 years back. And today also there is not an extra note added to that. There were 49, we call it melodious tunes which are driven. We call it tan. I don't know what to say it in English, but like something like that. So some song like that, if you have a line of it, tan we call it. They are 49 in number, 7 into 7, 49 special ones. Today there is no 50th added. Now this is what was listed then. This book is a list of all those things which are given. Now in this book they have given one more very unique thing. In this book they have given us 3 types of, so there was a practice which was performed in the name of prayers, and that was kindling the fire and trying to offer something and express the gratitude or whatever you call it. It was called yajna. Now when even today, even so many of my Maharashtrian friends also, Marathi friends, they ask me, they say, yajna means you have to burn the candle wood and then put something and then it will be messy, all the smoke will just spoil my, it's a very short-term understanding of it. Yajna, there were 3 types of yajna which are expressed in one of the prayers. We call it Purush Sukta in Rig Veda. And in that, these 3 types of, what are these 3 types of offerings? The best offering made by God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine God trying to take wood and putting in the fireplace and burning it and putting ghee or whatever in fuel in that? No. He uses the spring, the autumn and the summer. Look at the greatness of that term. The meaning could be applied to a universal program. It's not just an activity to be performed by you, me in the house. No, God is also performing a yajna. For fire he is using the summer. And I was really, just few days back I realized it. I said, that's very good. For butter, which we pour butter to keep the fire kindled, he is using spring, they are saying. Then he says he is using autumn for oblations. So he says, I'll grow the crops. The crops itself is like oblations to the... I mean, you can see, we are so limited with our understanding. Not only that, rishis were another, they gave a new dimension. Their dimension was, for us, it was like, so what do you mean? So they said the herbs which are there in the society, on the ground, on the land and all, if they are to be traced on a mortal form, I'll give you a simultaneous example first. There is air all around us, but when it is related with the mortal body, we don't say air, we say breath. The word gets changed. So similarly, they have found out different words for herbs which are there on the ground and land and all. On man, it is considered to be the hair we grow. They are supposed to be the herbs. Vanaspati they are called. The heaven we look upon, the Rishi Muni said it is the brain. The Earth we look upon. The Rishi Muni sages say it's your body, physical body. The sunlight we say, it is your eyes. So can you imagine if you have to apply the terms, the values, the Rishi Munis had 3 different values for 3 different levels. For the world they had one value, for the mortal they had one value, and for the divine world they had one value. There was sun for the heaven, there was lightning for the space, there was fire for the common mortal world. So there was a beautiful understanding. They have mentioned it for us to understand. All right, this is there, you can use it. You're supposed to have all these yajnas. The mortal yajna was very beautiful. He would ride on a horse. They trained the animals. Most of our gods are using animals to travel. It's a very nice way of putting them to use. Singapore, I had been to Singapore. They are making such dollars because of that. They will make you hold the hula hoop and the birds go through that. The moment they go through that, you are supposed to pay $40. They are trained, they are using so that, of course, why not? I mean, the animal world also can be given comfort zone if they are of use. The cattle was used, the cows were of use, so they enjoyed the comfort of the cow sheds. They were given waters, they were washed clean. So each one, we cannot be without an action. We are responsible. We have to have a responsible action. It is a must for a human being. I'll come to that later, but first I'll tell you this. So the mortal yajna was, he trained the horses, he rode on horsebacks, he went from one town to the other, he carried the seeds, he sowed the seeds, he got the crops, he sold the crops, and he started having, that was also called yajna. The third type of yajna was, which the saints went into. What did they do? They identified this universal creator as one godly figure. And they said, all right, his name is Vishnu. We'll call it any name, but let's call it Vishnu right now because that's there in this. But you all can call him by any name because he's a creator. Like mother is a general term. Everybody's mother is different. So it doesn't matter. They are actually the same yet different. Similarly, you have this universal entity they call Vishnu, and then in praise of him, they realized, all right, you are the greatest creator, you are the greatest thing, you are the greatest hero, and so on, so on, and so on. The praises started taking shape of poems and poetry and mantras, and finally they came up. Then they decided, what was it? Chanting of it will give you something. What will that give you? As a certain religious righteousness, a frame of righteous behavior. If you do this, it is right. If you don't do this, it is wrong. All right, doesn't matter. It was their limited mindset, let's say. But they tried to design a program for you saying, if you go by this way, you will be able to get some intuitional powers or whatever. Because they got the message as intuition. So wanted us, the next generation, to have intuitions. Now people ask me, how do we have Vedas? So go ahead. You meditate and see if you can become intuitive. I'll give you a small, simple example of intuition. If you are closing the door behind you as you're leaving your house, there's nobody around you, and suddenly the inner voice says, have you got your keys with you? That is intuition. Have you got your keys with you? It tells you there is an inner voice which is talking to you. One of the youngsters had asked me, he says, Swamiji, I don't want to believe in all God and all this. Can you give me in a simpler way, which is... So I said, all right. So I said, if you try to go and do right, you won't hear an inner voice interfering you. You're giving alms to some poor, nobody is going to say, don't do it. Internally, externally some may say, but internally the voice doesn't interfere. But if you go to slap somebody or hit somebody, the inner voice will say, don't do it. Don't do it. Now that inner voice is that voice. If you follow that voice, you will go towards the ultimate peace, and that peace is Lord. That peace is Lord. An active mind finds peace when it is consciously correct. being consciously correct will not raise doubts, you will not be restless, you will not be moving, parading up and down, because your conscience is clear now. So the best way to know God is be pure at heart. Be the best person you can be in your life. You should be able to say, I'm good. Yes, of course I'm good. I'm 100% good. Can you say that? Yes. If you can say that, then be rest sure you are none other than God Himself. But do you have that confidence? I'll give you a very beautiful example. It's a very nice story. We had this story of Lord Krishna with Pandavas, 5 princes and their wife, princess. They were all going out together and they all were hungry. They were in the forests, so they were hungry. And there was a tree with fruits on it. So Lord Krishna says, why don't you do one thing? You are hungry, so let's shake the tree and let the fruits fall. And we can all have plenty, as many fruits as you want. And they of course eat everything and all. And after then they are about to leave. So Krishna says, now put them, the rest of them, back to the tree. So this is, how can that happen? I mean, they can be dropped down. They can be again, they cannot be put up on the tree again. No, he says, I'll give you a trick. If you have never wronged, keep that in your mind. This is a very beautiful example I want to give you all, because I want to pass on this idea of the faith where you can use it for your own life. I'll give it to you, I'll tell you. So he said, if you're good at heart, say, God, if I'm good at heart, all these will go back to the tree. Of course, they all were trying to be the most good, the most pious. So everybody tried, and of course some fruits went, some didn't go, some didn't go. So they knew, all right, they were not all that good, so okay, they did it. Now, the one who was supposed to be the most good at heart was Draupadi, the Pandava's wife. She was supposed to be a very pious lady, pure lady, born out of yajna and all. And even hers, some of the fruits were left down. So she says, Krishna, why is it that some of my fruits are here? I have done exactly what you've said. I've been as good as I could, everything. And he said, why? So these 5 brothers had one brother, his name was Karna, who was not rightfully on throne, but he was born to the lady, Draupadi, because of the gods she asked that she should get a child. So she had got one. You can call it like Mother, Virgin Mary, Mother Mary and all like that. She said, why? He said, when you saw the 6th one grown, you wanted to have him also as your husband. That was a thought which brushed your mind and went. What I'm trying to tell you is, very subtly, your mind, your intellect, your speech, casually you will say, shut up. Casually you will say, don't speak. Casually you will say, get out. Now this you don't mean any big harm, but a wrong is a wrong. A wrong is a wrong. So this is what needs to be continuously practiced by all of us. The day you can say, I am good. Now why am I telling you this? Because in case in your life you have any unfortunate incident you have, and now you want to have some sort of a help from God for that. You want to overcome that unfortunate incident, either physically, mentally, intellectually, whatever it is. Then what best can you do? Then you think of what good have you done to somebody in your life. Any one person, if you have done good to, and you have not yet cashed that. If you have not yet cashed, like you haven't gone and said, you didn't say thank you to me. You didn't give me back when I gave it to you. I had given to you. You never returned when I wanted it. So you have not cashed it. If you have not cashed a good deed, you can do it now. We call it Sankalpa Sadhana. It's a very beautiful thing. We were asked at MIT, there was which sort of a masjid should come up, or Ram Mandir should come up, or humanitarian temple should come up, what should come up, because Ayodhya was a debate in India some time back. And of course we were all there. I'm one of the philosopher speakers in the group there. So they said, then I said, I told them a very lovely story. There is a lady, she's very, very devoted to her husband. And here we consider it's supposed to be a very pious quality to be devoted to each other. It's supposed to be a very pious quality. So as she's going, that man says, there's a court dancer. He says, I want to see her. Is it okay if I see her? So she says, why not? You have every right to be happy, so I'll take you. And she takes him. But while going, she unknowingly, they dash into a saint and he gets hurt. Now the saint was angry enough to turn and he says, you shall not see tomorrow's light. That is, you will not wake up tomorrow. Now the wife is very furious. She said, how dare? I mean, already he is paraplegic. On that you're cursing him. And what about us? Where do you make us stand? So she says, nothing doing. So she says, I will see how the sun comes up tomorrow. So she says, I will stop the sun from rising. I'm just giving you the intense power we mortals can have if you are good. If you are good, what powers you can have. I'm just giving you an idea of it. She says, I won't let the sun rise. And next 2 days the sun wouldn't rise. All the gods got together and they all went down. They wanted to plead to her, please don't do this. So finally they found one mediator. She was supposed to herself be another very pious lady. That was called Anusuya. She was Lord Dattatreya's mother. So they go to her, they say, please tell her to release the sun. I know all this sounds very fun-like, but this will only highlight the potential to which mortal can go. Such stories will give you an idea, can we reach that point? Yes, if you are pure, you can develop these powers. So purity of mind, intellect, and it is very important. So she goes and she says, you don't stop the sun from rising. So she says, no, if he rises, my husband is going to die and I don't want to do that. She says, don't worry, when he dies, I'll wake him up. Now just see the potential. And she does. The lady lets the sun rise, the man dies, and she picks up the little bottle and she says, if I've loved my husband, he'll get up. And he gets up. You see, you encash your goodness. You can encash your goodness. So I told at Ayodhya, that temple thing, I said, take water in your hands and encash your true love for the God. Whether it is Allah, or whether it is masjid, or mandir, or temple, or whatever you want. I said, just encash it. It will come through. What I'm trying to tell is, this is how deep one can go. One can encash it for your requirements. That is why continuously religion keeps on telling us, practice goodness, practice goodness. The other day, one of the BMM sessions, I was told, why has religious triggered off war concepts? I said, that is not the objective of that religion. Religion's objective is to elevate the soul. Then how come there are triggered, these war concepts are triggered? It is because when you are encashing enlightenment, you are exchanging it for some cash. Objective changes. The objective changes. Now Rig Veda will tell you about these 33 gods. Not only that, they have identified the entire mortal illness into just 3 parts. We call it 3 nadi, 3 dosh, that is 3 faults. That is 1 kapha, pitta is acidity, and vata is gas. The entire mortal world, the Rishi Munis have classified only in 3 faults. Not only that, they have also told them, as per the moon conditions of their birth and all, how various trees, there are 27 trees which should be enough to create an entire medical world for all the problems in the world. Of course, There is improvisation, there is modification, there is pros and cons all coming together, combinations. It will be there. Like we have just 26 words, alphabets. And can you imagine how rich English is? The language. There are thousands and thousands of words, and there are still new ones coming up. But the 26 alphabets have not changed for 27th and 28th. Similarly, these 27 trees are there, which are told by the saints of this time. And what are we using them? Yes. If you look at those trees and you find out their parallel names in English and go to Google and you trace the medicinal value of that Google tree, you will know it is required for the people who suffer from acidity or gas or cough. Now this intelligence, that's why I said if you want your intelligence to grow, purity is the only way. Pure objective is the only way. The purer your objective is towards understanding of knowledge and passing it on for the welfare of mankind, the brighter you are going to be. The more intelligent you are going to be. Because that is how God has decided, He has designed us. Now how has He designed? As I told you, Yajurveda talks about designing us. How has God designed you? As I told you, He has given you the light which will never bring darkness close to you. But there are other three things very beautifully given by Him. He says, you love life. You will always love life. Nobody is going to love death. And it's very obvious. All of us want to live. All of us want to live. You see a dead flower, you feel sad, but that's all. But you see a bright living flower, you say, my God, so pretty. We appreciate life. All of us appreciate life. And that is what we are designed, our intellect is designed to appreciate life. It is not designed to appreciate death. That is very important thing what He has done for us. He has designed it in such a way that we love to live, however difficult the life may be. None of us want to go and say we want to die. So you want to live. That is what, because He has designed it so. The car is designed to go right and left when the steering wheel is changed. It is designed, programmed so. Another very interesting program He has inserted in it is, we love to be happy. And He has very wisely related happiness with achievement. He is related, very wisely He has combined the two wires, happiness and achievement. So, yes, I love happiness. All right, then try and achieve something. Maybe just trying to pick up 10 kilos of dumbbell. And you feel, my God, I can pick it up. 1 mile of running. Do it. Achievement is linked with joy. And now he's silent. He doesn't need to interfere. The mother has given birth to a child once. She doesn't have to keep on feeding him something or the other. Today legs, tomorrow eyes, tomorrow something else, tomorrow something else. No. Like that, God has given a soul. He's given birth to Jivatma, the life, as I told you. Entire life here, the word universal abstract now, here it is life with immortal. He's given us that life, that spirit part is here. So He says, you are similar to me. Then we say, how can we be similar to you? You are so grand. So He says, you want to be grand? Yes, I want to be grand like you. All right, you start providing like I do provide to others. You start providing for others, you will be coming to my stage. The more you give, the more you're going to grow into a supreme supernatural power. Whether it is knowledge, whether it is providing people for food, or whether it is kindness, or whether it is shelter, think of anything that you have in umpteen and you can spare. Pick that up as your trump card and try and see if you can use it. Once you are identified with that generosity of that particular quality which you possess, very soon you will start getting intuitions, lovely intuitions, beautiful intuitions, beautiful dreams, harmony in the universe. You'll have many friends coming to you. You'll have people without any relation, they will love you for what you are. Because you have taken responsibility in a small manner, only one quality of God. Take it up. Pick it up. Can you do that? Yes. Why not? Just a helping hand to somebody. I'll give you a very beautiful example. I have a cousin sister, she's a doctor. I learned from these things, that's why I'm passing it on to you. She's a doctor. Anybody in her building or in her society, if the person is not well, and they say, no, we are not well, we have to go to the hospital, she'll say, I'll take you. She's not related. She has no need for that. She doesn't charge them for that. She says, I'll take you. She'll take them there. Now they are admitted, so they have to stay there. Now they say, we don't have anybody coming from home to stay. She said, I'll stay. I keep on telling her, what sort of a person are you? You don't need to stay now. You've gone, let them there. And she said, no, I'll stay. She would sit out on the chair like this with her head down and go up to sleep, but she would stay. And trust me, 77 years now she's old. Not once she has got to go to the hospital for her own illness. This is what actually, if you want to be divine, immortal, there are only two things required. Be your best self and be of help to somebody. You want elongated life? Just be of use to one person in your world. Be of use to somebody. Be your best self if you want to be enlightened. I've got many people who come and they say, she was so bad to you and she was so bad to you and then why are you so good? I said, their being bad is their deed. I have to be good because I want to receive that tempting knowledge. I have to have that knowledge. If I don't have that knowledge, somebody the other day asked me, said, we want two things, knowledge and material wealth. I said, if you get knowledge, you will get material wealth. Because you will know how to earn. That is light. That is Agni, quality of Agni. If you have knowledge, Agni makes you rich. Nothing, you will run short of nothing, provided you are willing to give somebody what you have, you will keep on getting it. Now these Vedas are only a list of all these things. Of course there are names there which may not be familiar to all the religions, but those names are actually attributes of God. If it is sun god, it is light. If it is valor, it is Indra. If it is peace, it is joy. It is joy, it is Som. Joy is Som. Then the grinding stones which I use, they are called as grinding. They are actually dualities of life. So if you interpret them, all those words into as understood by mortal world, the entire mortal world can have somewhere find a common prayer, a common faith, a common this thing, and maybe will be able to be of help to each other to walk towards peace. So this is my work on Vedas. I have got these two. I am going to leave some drive with pen drive. So all those, if you want to hear them or read them or have them downloaded, please ask him to help you to do that. And I think that should be all right. Okay, thank you so much.